Whisky.de. Treffpunkt feiner Geister.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Whisky.de, dem Treffpunkt feiner Geister. Heute bin ich etwas weiter im Norden und zwar in der Nähe von Sendai und hinter mir ist der Nikka-Fluss und daneben steht dann die Miyagikyo Brennerei von Nikka. Der Fluss heißt zwar Nikka, hat aber nichts mit dem Nikka-Konzern zu tun. Und was hier so besonders ist, ist der Fluss hinter mir. Denn der Gründer ist damals hier rumgegangen und hat einen Standort für seine neue Brennerei gesucht mit seinem Sohn zusammen. Und zusammen haben sie dann diese Stelle gefunden und haben dann auch von diesem Wasser hier probiert. Das mache ich jetzt auch mal. Und gemerkt, das ist besonders reines und besonders weiches Wasser. Das haben sie dann mit ihrem Nikka Whisky gemischt und haben dann gemerkt, okay, das hier ist der Standort für unsere neue Brennerei und haben dann die Miyagikyo Brennerei gegründet. Und hier rechts neben mir sieht man dann einen der 3 Brunnen. Die sind relativ flach, weil es sehr schnell auf gutes Wasser kommt. Und daraus bezieht dann die gesamte Brennerei ihr Wasser, das sie für die Whiskyproduktion benötigen. Hinter mir ist die Maischen und hier wird das geschrotete Malz ausgewaschen, um einen Gerstenbrei zu erstellen, der dann später in den Fermentiertanks benutzt wird. Für den Grain Whisky gibt es in einem anderen Gebäude einen Jet Cooker, der einen kontinuierlichen Prozess des Auskochens des geschroteten Getreides gibt, um einfach die Effizienz zu steigern. Hinter mir sind die Fermentationstanks. Es gibt 22 Fermentationstanks und sie sind alle aus rostfreiem Stahl. Und es braucht ungefähr 3 Tage, bis die Hefe ein Bier entwickelt hat mit ungefähr 8% Alkoholgehalt. Das Interessante an dieser Brennerei ist, dass sie ein Labor in der Nähe von Tokio haben, in dem sie ihre Hefen züchten. Und sie haben hunderte von verschiedenen Hefesorten und 5 von diesen Hefesorten sind gut genug, dass sie hier in der Fermentation einsetzen. Hinter mir ist die Wash Still der Miyagikyo Brennerei. Und wenn man sich die Form anschaut, dann haben wir einen großen Kessel, wir haben einen Reflux Bowl, so eine fast Einschnürung, einen ziemlich langen Hals und einen aufsteigenden Leinarm. Und das alles begünstigt eine große Verwirbelung und eine sehr gute Trennung der Alkohole. Und dadurch bekommt man einen sehr leichten, süßen, eleganten Whisky. Die Brennblasen sind alle in Japan hergestellt worden und dann geht es nach der ersten Brennstufe geht es weiter in die Spirit Still. Das sind nun die Spirit Stills. Die Nikka Brennerei hier in Miyagikyo hat insgesamt 4 Wash Stills und 4 Spirit Stills. Und auch die Spirit Still hat die gleiche Form, um einen sehr leichten, eleganten Whisky zu erschaffen. Und das Besondere hier ist, sie benutzen auch eine sehr langsame Destillation. Und am Ende kommen wir auf ungefähr 75% Alkohol nach der Destillation, was dann noch verdünnt wird, um ins Fass zu füllen. Hinter mir ist jetzt eines der 22 Warehouses. Und man sieht hier auch, es ist ein Dunnage-Style Warehouse. Sie haben wirklich strenge Vorgaben hier. Sie gehen nur 2 Reihen hoch und es ist der natürliche Boden hier, der ist ein bisschen sandig. Alle Warehouses sind mit Backsteinen gebaut und wie man hier merkt, ist auch eine sehr gedämpfte Atmosphäre. Es ist relativ kühl, obwohl es draußen sehr warm ist. Und da wir hier so eine der etwas nördlicheren Brennereien auf der Hauptinsel sind, eigentlich der nördlichsten Brennereien auf der Hauptinsel, ist es hier im Winter auch ziemlich kalt. Also sie haben ungefähr 50 cm Schnee und das bedeutet, sie haben nicht so viel Angels Share wie die Brennereien im Süden. Wir sagen ungefähr 2% Angel Share. Sie haben aber bei Miyagikyo, insgesamt bei Nikka, haben sie eine sehr große Vielfalt an Fässern. Und zwar haben sie frische Eichenfässer, die sie in einer ihrer 3 Fassmachereien produzieren. Dann haben sie Bourbonfässer und sie haben noch jede Menge Sherryfässer, mit denen sie dann experimentieren können, wo sie sagen, ein bisschen mehr von Oloroso, ein bisschen mehr Pedro Ximénez. Und das ist auch sehr wichtig bei Nikka, denn Nikka setzt extrem viel auf Blending. Bei der Nikka Brennerei haben die Master Blender am meisten zu sagen, denn sie bestimmen, ich brauche noch ein bisschen mehr von dieser Art von Malt Whisky oder ich brauche noch ein bisschen mehr von dieser Hefesorte und diesen Art von Malz, ein bisschen mehr Rauchgehalt drin, dass sie ihren perfekten Blend herstellen, genauso wie sich die Nikka Master Blender vorstellen, einen guten Nikka Whisky zu kreieren. So, das war's jetzt mit der Tour und jetzt geht noch mal ein bisschen weiter mit einem englischen Interview. So, I'm standing here with Naoki.
Hello.
And you're the international developer, 8
representative.
years of 8 years of experience, and you represent the Nikka brand worldwide. Great job. Thank you for having us here at the distillery.
Oh, thanks for coming, Ben.
Yeah. So, what are we having today?
So, you've finished the tour.
Yes.
You saw the distillery. Here we have 5 whiskeys. This one, last one, or the first one we may taste is the Miyagikyo single malt, which is this guy right here.
It's always good to have the bottle right here.
Yes. So the 3 here is sort of to give you an idea of how different the whiskeys could be.
So this here is the master blender experience.
Yes. Sort of. So we have 3 whiskeys, single malts from Miyagikyo. Okay. Let's go to the first one. This one we call the fruity and rich. This is one of our key malts. So
it's a single malt.
it's a single malt. It's a certain style of Miyagikyo.
Oh yeah.
It's fruity and rich.
You do have a lot of taste in there.
Yes.
I like it. Very smooth as well. Now comes the rich. Oh, it's malty.
It's malty.
Malty, fruity, and mouth-watering. Yeah, if you have a great tour, I love the place. You have such a beautiful distillery here. In the end, you're always like, I want the product.
So let's just have a little small sip of, or maybe just nose the second one. This one's called a sherry and sweet. Totally different.
Yeah, it even looks different.
Yes.
So are these are like the experience to have to see what inside the cask? and
Yes.
stuff?
So what we are doing is in this bottle, it's a single malt, where usually you think there's one production method, and then the age is the variance. Whereas how we make our whiskey is we have different varieties of malt whiskeys, starting from different malt stars, yeast, fermentation, all these, the distillation, the type of cask it goes into, the wood, the size, and the age, everything that is a variable, everything that can be controlled, it gets you to a different liquid.
Did you always used to have this big variance, or did the variance grow?
It grew over time, obviously, after a lot of experiments, good and bad. The idea is when your intention is to blend, you need the variety.
Okay. So, and in the future, you want to develop new type of blends and stuff?
Of course.
Okay.
And this will consist maybe 20, 30, depending on the formula of that time, different types of Miyagikyo single malts.
Okay, so we can expect new bottlings like in the next years? Or
Hopefully.
decades?
Yes, of course. So
Okay.
it just gives you an idea of the bigger pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, this one is on the sherry side.
Yes. And there's
darker-
obviously a lot of sherry influence that goes into this bottle.
Darker, a lot of dark fruits.
always love these ones. Oh, it's a sherry bomb. Oh, now it develops. So how many percent are we looking at?
These are 55. Yeah, 55.
55.
Yeah. The mouthfeel is so gentle.
It's so gentle. So gentle. Okay.
The product itself is 45.
45.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Malty and soft.
Oh my god, this is even maltier than the first one.
Even more malty.
Oh, but I need a bit. I still got some sherry in there. Yeah, very, very soft.
I think we named it right.
Yeah, yeah. You got. It's like. It's cool to have these different styles. So how's we feel that the demand for Japanese whiskey is quite on the rise.
Yes, we feel that
in this decade. So are you keeping up with the demand, or how is
we're trying, but we feel that the demand is happening faster than we can produce whiskey.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. So yeah, not a good situation for the consumer. So okay. So, and these are now real whiskeys that you can buy in Germany as well?
Yes. So let's go to the Miyagikyo. I think the 3 represents, so think of it as a puzzle of like 40, 50 pieces. These were the big pieces. And then the blenders will add little bits and pieces to complete their puzzle, which is the single malt Miyagikyo. So all 3 had a gentle mouthfeel. It's very elegant and fruity, light, aromatic. This is the Miyagikyo style, but each whiskey will be different, and then it's a blending process that makes the magic.
But these are all from the Miyagikyo plant. No Yoichi in there.
No Yoichi. This one always makes me smile.
Very soft and elegant.
And you see the elements there. So it's not a single way of production where you get straight to this taste. You do variations, and then the blending is making this.
So you're looking for complexity.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have a very slight peaty note, a bit of a citric note.
The peat is more in the, it's not very present, but it helps the other flavors.
It's just very, very subtle.
Yeah. I like to refer it as like that one click of black pepper.
A one click of black pepper.
On a dish for cooking.
But there's no grain in it.
No grain.
Ah, okay.
So it's kind of hard to explain. It's blended, but it is a single malt.
Yeah,
blending
people often confuse the blending process with a blend whiskey.
Yes.
But it's tricky. I don't know why they have the same name for it. It's not good.
Well, it's the same with grain and malt, because barley is a grain, but it's different categories.
Different categories.
In the whiskey world. In the dictionary, grain is the bigger category.
It's the bigger character. Yeah, malt will be it's processed grain, but yeah, I think we do have a lot of experts who know the difference.
But anyways, I think you get the idea of how this works. If you were to add a little bit of more sherry, it would be a completely different expression.
But you're looking for I feel like it does have complexity, but it's still a lighter whiskey.
Yes.
A little bit of spiciness in there.
So all different styles come into this bottle, but the Miyagikyo style is that elegance, that softness. That's how our distillery is set up. That's the type of yeast we use in Miyagikyo, and that's how our pot stills are.
Okay. So one of the tougher questions.
Yes.
Fukushima, the accident?
Oh,
Did
yeah,
it,
the radiation?
Did it affect you?
No. However, technically no. But of course, people are worried. So we've made sure that everything's all right.
Okay, so you have people monitoring and,
Yes,
and
of
stuff.
course,
Okay,
of course.
quality department.
Yes.
Okay, so and do you use local grain as well as?
No. Mostly, I can say all our grains are imported.
Imported grain.
Yes.
So there is probably no possibility but you check the water quality regularly.
Not just the water, even the end product.
End product. Okay. So okay. Good to know. Yeah, it's always a bit worry with the customers that okay, wait, where is it from? Oh, that's pretty close.
Not so close.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one we have here. Can I move on to the grain?
Yeah. Sure. Fine.
So the coffee still is one of our biggest assets, and it was imported from Scotland in 1963.
Oh, okay.
And it was like his final piece. Our founder Masataka Takeshiro, his final piece. He needed a grain whiskey distilled in a coffee still, not just a modern type of column still, but a coffee still, because he really loved the flavor. So here, what we're doing, you have the whiskey here. This one.
So, what's the specialty about this one?
So it's one of the first inventions of a column still. So it's not efficient. It doesn't get you to a pure alcohol, which is actually good for us. So what we're doing here is let the grain speak, let those flavors that the coffee still retained be there, and not. In order to do that in whiskey, we're not using any new oak or strong flavored barrels or casks. What we're doing here is aging it in remade, refilled, and recharred casks. That way, you're not getting too much of the wood. You're getting sweetness from the grain, which is corn in this case, and adding a little bit of that elements, the maturation, just enough of it.
So you use corn in this whiskey?
Yes.
100% or?
Not 100%.
Not 100%.
But I can say more than 95.
95%, and the rest will be barley
Malt. Just to get the enzymes working.
Ah, so you use natural enzymes?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So it can't be 100%.
Yeah, it can't be 100%, otherwise you have to add enzymes.
Yes. So this one's one of my favorites.
It's strange though, because you have that sweetness.
Yes.
But it's somehow different. It's not as a bourbon, but it's nice. It's completely different. It's a bit of.
So you generally think a grain whiskey would be plain and it's a silent spirit. However, this one has character, and there's just the right amount of the wood coming through, like the flavors you find in bourbon, like the vanilla, the caramel, you find here as well, but not overwhelming.
Yeah, not dominant. I want to say bourbon, but it's a subtle bourbon. Bourbon is always so straightforward. Here I am. I'm the bourbon.
I think it's kind of somewhere between a bourbon and a Scotch.
Yeah, it's a. So how do you do that? You do have a less of that spirit flavor, that window cleaner flavor. How do you do that? Is that a secret?
Just the controlling of the coffee still.
Okay.
This I love. This one I love.
So this is 100% grain whiskey.
95.
95. So a bit of malt in there.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
It's not for the flavor though.
Yeah, sure. So the malted barley, but it's 100% coffee still.
Yes, exactly.
100% coffee still. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
But also a quite complex procedure, because this will actually contain roughly 20 different batches made in different ways.
The blending doesn't end with single malt. The
No,
blending,
everything.
everything has to go on the blending. Okay, okay.
That's how we refine our flavors, and so it's more like a designed flavor rather than this is our distillery's taste.
So when you have Nikka in Miyagikyo near Sendai, and you have Yoichi on Hokkaido, how close are the two distilleries?
In terms of distance, or
No, in terms of working together.
very close. So what may seem unusual is that we hop around within the business. So a blender could next year be working in Yoichi or Miyagikyo. Somebody from Miyagikyo could become a blender. So everybody will hop around.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of communication going on, and cultures crossing, and also the blenders will be aware of what everything going on in the distilleries.
Okay, and also cask switching?
Not so much of the cask.
Not so much of the casks.
Yes.
Okay, but the people are
Yes.
they're like one company.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So, nice. So, yeah. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video interesting, then please feel free to share this video with friends who also might be interested in Japanese whiskey or Nikka whiskey. And yeah, thank you and arigato gozaimasu.